Hi, my name is Israel Vasquitelli, and welcome to the Turntable, a roundtable discussion featuring music and entertainment industry students, artists, and anyone with a vested interest in the music business. And today we have some amazing talent on the table, and I'll go ahead and do a quick introduction, and then I'm going to have you guys give me maybe a 1-minute bio. So first things first, we have a powerhouse, a triple threat over here to my left. Matt Ills, not only a lyrical phenom, world-class battle rapper, also an entrepreneur, and a radio host. You had to add something else to your repertoire.
Yeah.
And then right next to you, we have the phenomenal Benny Renee, who, by the way, is going to be performing later in the episode. And I can't wait for you folks to check her out because she is really amazing. And to my right, I have Victor Martinez, who is an entrepreneur. He's a creative. More importantly, I think you're a fantastic cinematographer.
Thanks.
And right next to you is someone that you work closely with. And we have Cognac and Roses, who is I would call you a new era hip hop artist that still keeps it in that boom bap vibe.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, you have a brand new song, which I encourage everybody to go check out what Nico is. Yeah. So let's go around the table. I'm going to start back with Mr. Matt Ills. If you don't mind, give me a truncated version of your bio.
Sure. Well, other than, being in the hip hop culture all my life, I went viral in 2008 on YouTube with a battle league called Grind Time Now. Created that here in Orlando. Sold it after 10 years and moved on to do documentaries and go into radio. And so that's pretty much it.
Being very modest.
Yeah, I mean, it's truncated. So, I went all over the place with Grind Time, did all kinds of stuff with them and learned a lot about media and social media world, and that's kind of where I exist now.
Indeed. Nice. Benny.
All right. My name is Benny Renee. I am a hip-hop artist and also training to be a holistic nutrition coach.
Very nice. Cool. Victor.
My name is Vic Martinez. I like to think I'm the creative director for everything Cognac and Roses and Florida Grown. I like to just sum it up as I'm the Diddy to his Biggie. Yeah.
That's
easy.
Nice. Very nice.
That was easy. Hey, what's going on? I'm Kayak and Roses. I produce, songwrite, do a lot of stuff, man. Just multiverse, have creative. We write out screen stuff for videos and all that. So that's about it, really.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
So the theme of this specific discussion is indie hip-hop survival, and I would imagine that everybody at this table could relate to that theme. Yeah. And, I want to be able to approach it from different perspectives. One is going to be creative. So I love to learn a little bit about each of your creative processes and maybe just a little bit about your most recent project and how it got to fruition. So whoever wants to start is perfectly fine.
You mentioned Cognac's new song, Windshield, and thank you for covering it and helping us promote it. We did a song with, I'm speaking for you, sorry. We did a song with Nico Is, and I was there when they recorded it and they filmed it, and then I'm just, while they're creating it, I'm trying to figure out how am I going to brand it, how am I going to make a marketing campaign around it. I think that's a creative process, I believe, and that's where I get the most fun out of it. Something we did we've seen a lot of artists spam their Instagram feed, their Facebook feed, and whatever with the same cover art every single time. We decided to not do that, put a spin on it, and make a variant of the cover art and release that on a 12-week campaign. So we did a Family Guy version of our artwork. We did a Simpsons inspired, Rick and Morty inspired, just like a comic book would do variants, to keep the attention going and just to be different. Yeah, so.
Very nice. No, and it definitely got my attention, and I think you did a great job on the branding with that. Yeah. Very nice. And you got some pretty, I think, important people's attention on top of that. Right?
Yeah, thankfully, yeah.
So, what about you, as far as the artist perspective and the songwriter perspective? What's your process, and what did it take for you to get through that latest project you've worked on?
I mean, I never walk in thinking about what I'm gonna do. You get what I'm saying? Like I just walk in and I it's almost freestyling everything. You know, I start freestyling the hooks, or I just vibe with the other artists. Like me and Nico, we always have like great communication. You know what I'm saying? I just earned a new friend in life. You know what I'm saying, from that process. So everything was genuine. All the vibes was there. I just walk in there and I get it done. That's what I do. I have fun with it. First thing first, I have fun with it, and then I go from there.
And that song was recorded where, if you don't mind sharing?
We recorded it at Studio 18.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Mhm.
Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've had Connor and also some of the engineers, Terrence, and,
Yeah, I know
and
Terrence.
also AP on this very table. So
Yeah.
very
Family.
familiar with them.
Yeah.
And then in regard to the video, what was the timeline for that video?
Oh man,
Well, he hit me up with the video concept. I went down to Miami. You know what I'm saying? And
we did a full blown. So we recorded the song in December,
Right.
while Nico was here visiting his mom for Christmas.
Mhm.
That was the perfect time because he was in town. He doesn't live here anymore. We mixed it and mastered it. Got it mixed, got it mastered, and we came up. Nico said something at the studio session. He's like, "We should recreate that opening scene from Up in Smoke with Cheech and Chong."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Which one?" He said, "You know, when he's hitchhiking," and immediately the gear started turning because it just happened that he has the exact same car from that movie, same
Yeah.
color, same year, same model, everything. Not as busted up, right? But he had it, and it's not that hard. It wouldn't be that hard to do. Just had to get on the side of the road somewhere. It became harder to do, and then we did me and my team, we storyboarded the whole entire thing. The whole 3.5 minutes of the song, we storyboarded every single 3 second, 4 second, every scene that we wanted to shoot. Got the videographer, pitched it to Nico and him, and set the date. And Nico, thankfully, was coming in town for a show on April, so we did it the next day.
Nice.
Yeah.
And they got Chong to actually respond on video,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
pretty.
Tommy Chong got to see it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
you
got-
Chong.
Yeah,
Thank you, Chon.
man, thank you. Huge
So-
fan.
So and you're very welcome, Ills, to talk about maybe music that you have in the works. But I also want to learn a little bit about one of your more recent creative forays into creativity and hip hop, and that is the radio show that you host, where you have all of this amazing lyrical talent come on Friday nights and do their thing. If you don't mind talking a little bit about the inspiration for that and
Yeah.
and how you put that together.
That's no problem. Well, currently, I left the radio.
Oh,
It's I've never was too much of a strong believer in
Right,
radio.
right.
It's something that kind of fell into my lap as I was going along and collecting footage for a documentary on freestyle MCs. So what I did was I did a little tour. It's actually where I ran into this MC who's amazing, where I just had freestyle meetups and had people come out, just like we used to do at the old open mics. And I had a lot of older MCs come out. They were bringing their kids out to this cipher, and I was like, man, this is an all-inclusive type of a feeling. So I left battle rap because I felt like it reached a glass ceiling, and I wanted something more all-inclusive. So I started working on that. Then I brought the idea to the radio, and they gave me their prime slot on Friday night from 7 to 11, and I had MCs come in. The biggest part about it was they thought it couldn't be controlled because they might curse. They're on live radio, but it's just a matter of how you run it. And we threw live ciphers from December the 28th for, all the way up until a little bit. I mean, wasn't even a year. I was able to gather all of those MCs and then build another platform called King of the Cypher, which it's kind of a contest mixed with a group of people who won't ever rotate out of like the contestants area. So like, let's say I have the Wu-Tang of freestyle MCs. I have 9 MCs, and I will always present them in this format. They're competing with each other, but it's really a freestyle exercise, and we get booked to perform that same exercise in different venues.
Very
And so it comes off as a contest, but in reality, it's a show.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically what I did with that is I just noticed a lot of MCs were doing ciphers, and freestyling is starting to make its way back into the cycle now. So that's the ride for me. I grew up as a freestyle MC, a battle MC. I saw that battle rapping was kind of on a decline, and I jumped right back over to freestyling, which is something I do best. So that's what I do now.
And obviously, as a champion battle rapper, you know, you have that talent to be able to just come off the cuff and, you know, not necessarily sit down and script everything. When you're
Right.
working on something for a release, is that something that you actually sit down and you write for, or is that also freestyle?
In writing and in freestyle, the exercise is the same. It comes from creative writing and doing it consistently, actually being a practitioner of it. So every day I freestyle, every day I write. If I'm sitting down to try to write some music, I'll put a beat on and I'll freestyle to it until I'm writing something down. If I want to go out and I'm going to have a freestyle session, before I leave, I'll have a writing session just so I can get my brain functioning in that creative way. So then I'll go out and I'll freestyle off the top. So whether it's freestyle or written, the practice is always the same. It's always a combination of both, and doing it consecutively develops a habit at it.
Indeed. And Benny.
Oh, okay. So for my newest project that I'm working on, which is like an EP, how I usually go about it was I went to the producer. I worked with him on all the beats and stuff like that. And then I wrote everything. I memorized everything except for one so far because I haven't written it yet. And then I'm going to go record it. And yeah, that's basically my creative process. I kind of want everything on this EP to be more holistic. I want to raise awareness, raise consciousness, and kind of talk about more of a healthy diet, talk about meditation, talk about breathing exercises, talk about God, which I think is not a lot in music, especially not in hip-hop music. So I just want to like, yeah, I want to put that out there. I want to be used as like a vessel to be able to just help other people around me and kind of help people that are off track or kind of like lost within themselves. So
Awesome. So I love to talk a little bit about the rewards of doing what you each do. You know, and when I say survival, you know, it's not just a living thing. It's not just a making a living thing. It's also about doing what you are passionate about. I think anybody that's an artist, that's a creative person, knows that that's what keeps them going. I would love to learn from each one of you and by the way, as a side note, it could certainly be monetary, but I would just love to learn a little bit about maybe some of the more recent, maybe just recent memory things that you felt have been rewarding enough to kind of get you through maybe some of the tough times, which I imagine everyone here could relate to that as well. If you're creative, you know, there's always writer's block. There's always, you know, never enough money. There's always something,
Burnout.
you know, to overcome. And that also is where the art comes from, right? So tell me a little bit about the rewards. What is it that you have recently, I don't know, felt accomplished about?
I'm sorry. I feel accomplished. I feel accomplished with what I personally been able to experience, right? So once you get over trying to impress other people, it's really about like what makes you happy? Like, what is the reason why you do it? Because I've had a great amount of money during the grind time days and traveled all over the place and did a lot of things. And then when all of that cut off and when I was at my brokest in life, I've done some of the biggest things that I've ever done in life. And for me, it's just be able to create a story, you know, for myself, a legacy for when I pass on. Like my kids, my family can all remember what I did. You know, once you're gone, you're not gonna be remembered by how rich or how broke you were. You're gonna be remembered by what you actually did in life. And so that's what really pushes me. I mean, you know, recently I did an event, a live event with Denzel Curry and Flatbush Zombies in Miami. It was broadcasted. We did it through Complex, and they had it streamed all over the place. And that wasn't even for that much like money, to be honest with you. But Red Bull calls me, and they always have something as long as it's creative. I mean, they were in a wrestling ring. They had people wrestling, and then the Flatbush Zombies and Denzel Curry actually got in the ring with each other, and I'm the referee trying to kind of like hold them back. And what they did was they just performed songs at each other. And there was mosh pits all over the place. You know, there was 2,000 people in the crowd going crazy. And being able to create those types of feelings and environments, that's really a big payoff for me, because when you feel like you're living inside of a dream, that's the payoff. That's the payoff. For some people, getting a whole wad of cash, they're like, oh man, this is a dream. Like, that's a payoff as well. But when you're in that moment and you're like, man, this is crazy. Like, this has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's the entertainment that you're able to provide, but also be in it at the same time. For me, that's the biggest payoff.
Awesome.
Okay, and kind of to build off of what he said, it's kind of all about like the journey. Because if you're not doing what you're passionate about, then what are you going to be doing? Like working a job that you're not happy with just because it's comfortable and just because you're making like decent money to get by. It's not really going to pay off in the long run. And this whole, I think, life is about like experience. So you might as well make the most out of it. Whether you go to this point and you fall and then you get back up again, you might as well just make the most out of why you're here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Deep.
I think it was rewarding when we did Rose Fest, and then we had it at Sound Bar in downtown Orlando, and then we had some people coming up. It's either coming up to me or coming up to him, and they're just talking about how they view us as individuals in the community, and I just felt like that was an achievement in itself. Like, yeah, we don't have like 50,000 people there, but just having, and it was sold out. This was our second year doing the event, and our whole thing about doing it was just bringing the community together and finding dope artists.
Mainly, we were like, all right, what are these goals? In 2015, when we started, we're like, what are these goals? And we wanted to have a headlining show. Like, all right, we got a headlining show downtown. That's when we know that's a milestone we want to hit. And then we started working with promoters downtown and we just didn't like the quality of show, so we decided let's just do it ourselves. We built this show. Or he's headlining, but we built this show. We booked the artists. We picked the venue. We picked the staff. We who runs the music, who runs the lights, pick the DJ, and how you run and operate. Oh, and marketing the event.
Yeah.
Wanted to look good, not be about the promoter. A lot of promoters have their face in their events. I wanted to be about the event more so. And that was a big milestone for us.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. Yeah. And I think most of you alluded to this idea of community, right?
Yeah.
And impact. You create your art, and ultimately, I think one of the biggest payoffs is when it has impact. I'd love to learn a little bit about where do you feel that you gain the most traction, the most opportunity to connect with your people?
Where do we gain it?
Yeah. Is there a platform? Is it maybe the live space?
We're just going through that right now because with the Windshield campaign for the new song, like we have a really good engagement online and social media, Facebook's email, our email list, Facebook, Instagram. It's been great. Our audience has really gotten behind the campaign. We're like, we need something more tangible. Like, I want something where they can touch and be a part of, not just look at it. Right? It's one way. So something we're doing we have 11 days to pull it off, but we're gonna do like in MegaCon they bring in the DeLorean where you can take pictures with somebody in the DeLorean. We're gonna bring his car into a studio, and we're gonna set up a whole windshield booth, and then have shirts and have the car take pictures, have the music playing, something tangible that no artist I've seen do. Right. And we're gonna test it out now in about 10 days, and then bring it back for MegaCon.
Very nice.
And no one knows who he is in MegaCon, but They'll something different. They can touch the car, and hopefully not too much, but they can see it for their hands. Not just be one way. We need to be two ways. Right. They can touch it and see it.
Very cool. Awesome. Yeah.
I would say online, but I think it's better to build something where you can speak to people in person and kind of get in contact with people in person, because online and social media is great. It's a way to reach all different types of people, but it's like not the same as like human communication and like physical conversation. I think I notice a lot of like younger generation these days. They're not even like able to have like a regular conversation with like eye contact and stuff like that. So they're like far like off where we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So so yeah, I would want to build something where yeah, I can reach out and have an impact, like maybe to like the kids, especially our younger children, our young girls, and our women, especially. So
Very nice. Yeah.
I would say nowadays your biggest traction is going to be online, especially with ad buying and target marketing. That now there's an exact science to finding your target audience. I also find that festivals can really help you. A lot of artists will get booked for festivals, or they'll go and perform at festivals, and all they'll do is basically just perform. There's so many different opportunities at a festival. I got out of actually performing a set at a festival and started reaching out as a host. And so I was able to host Rock the Bells, Pay Dues, South by Southwest, Coachella, and all of these festivals. I'm up on stage the whole entire day. So my social media will see a bump. The content that's being produced is a lot greater than being up on stage only for 30 minutes to an hour. That and the social media is what really did it for us. Our movement came out of the whole YouTube. YouTube came out in 2006. In 2008, we went viral. So we were on the first like wave of the YouTube celebrities that were coming out at that time. And and that was all organic. There were no ads bought during that 10-year period. We didn't buy any ads. We had 130 million views. All of it was organic. And so that really helped us out. But what we did, as soon as we got that bump, I was getting us booked at festivals. It was about festivals and just being in front of the public eye for as long as you can. And a lot of people will blow up online, like she was saying, behind closed doors, but then your social skills are gonna take a huge dump from that. But if you can get yourself out there and you're booked in festivals, you're talking to people. Even I got booked to be a street performer at Universal Studios for some time. We were doing freestyle shows, and it's about talking to people and communicating. And there's people from all over the world go to this, so you have a few seconds to be able to catch their attention and carry a conversation with them. And I felt like that was really a great place to help with your public speaking.
Right.
But I would say festivals and social media. Specifically now, I moved away from YouTube, and it's all about Instagram and TikTok.
Right.
TikTok.
Yeah.
Interesting. Shout out to Little Nas X, right?
Yeah.
TikTok.
Yeah.
TikTok is the spot right now. TikTok and LinkedIn.
So let's talk a little bit about the business side. Obviously, this is the industry. If you folks don't mind maybe sharing what you would consider to be your biggest form of revenue as an artist, or what you are looking to make your biggest revenue as an artist. So for example, I would imagine, I don't want to speak for you, Ills, but I would imagine if you're a sought after host, that would be a space that would make sense for you. Is there anything else?
Hosting, the public speaking that I do, the lecturing with the Science of Freestyle, that gets a lot of interest. And because I write every single day, so I'll get people that hit me up all the time for features. All the past MCs that we used to deal with from the Grind Time days, and even people who grew up with Grind Time that still reach out to this day. I still get a lot of requests for features, even more so than I do for performing. Actually performing at shows, that probably takes like 4th or 5th place to the other public speaking and hosting events that I do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think something I would like to see would probably be sync deals, which would be like, either Netflix, Hulu,
So we're chasing right now.
either soundtracks,
The next Cheech and Chong movie.
Yeah, a reboot.
That'd be cool, man. Doing something I
Reboot.
love anyway. So, but yeah, that would be amazing, and probably just songwriting for other artists, just because my style is just so widespread.
Indeed.
I sing, rap, like I said, so it'd be cool just to be sitting next to another artist, and I'm just helping them build their catalog up or something like that. I think that would be fun, and that'd be great.
Yeah.
And for you, production or something else?
like mainly my main focus has been him and his growing him as an artist and as a business. Like we consider it Cognac and Roses as a label, right? We have our own label. We're developing him. We're trying to get sync placements and connections and marketing and all that. I think on the side, I can use that as a case study, and I've been helping and consulting other artists on how to properly roll out a song instead of just releasing it on SoundCloud and then forgetting about it a week later. It's just a shame. There's so much good music out there that, and if they had just had a proper rollout and maybe at least $100 to put into ads or something, they can roll it out perfectly. So I've been just dabbling on consulting on the side.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Benny?
Okay, I would say I want to more so mesh music and just nutrition together. So I want to work on like a cookbook to go along with like the EP that I want to put out. And I kind of want to just mesh more of just like teaching people how to eat, teaching people how to more so get more in tune with themselves and take care of themselves. If I want to like go out to different communities and like just speak about nutrition and stuff like that, or even hold like cooking classes or different stuff like that, kind of like make something out of it.
Awesome. A lot of variety, right?
Yeah.
And once upon a time, it was literally just touring, right?
Yeah.
So I want to do a lightning round, if you folks don't mind. I would love to go around and just get a little tidbit for somebody that's watching right now that needs a little bit of creative inspiration. Could be anything. What do you have for them? Just to drop a jewel.
I would say that you don't need what all these people tell you that you need. You don't need to be on radio. You don't need to be streaming on a million platforms. Like, all you really need is 1,000 people that are willing to buy $100 of merchandise from you in the period of 1 year to make a great living for yourself. So for people to believe that there's all the, I know we all want to reach the masses with our messages and stuff like that, but I mean, if you'd be comfortable making a 6-figure salary off of just 1,000 people, why not? I mean, most artists that are out there have over 1,000 followers or getting approaching that, but they're not really building the relationships with their followers. And I would just say that it doesn't take that many people.
Great advice. Yeah.
I would say just do it. Like everything, everything is like difficult when you first begin. Like I also do photography, and when I first started trying to like build up photography clients, I was like 2 years in, I wasn't getting paid for nothing. Like I was just like, hey, let's do a photo shoot. And then now it's actually like my full-time job. So I would say just be consistent with it. Don't give up. Keep the motivation even when things seem like they're not wonderful. Like, I don't know, just keep going. If not, then what's your other option?
That's it.
Like,
Get in the
that's
game. That's it.
Like she said, you know, when you just do it, you're not overthinking. I feel like a lot of creators like to overthink, and then that creates a block. You know, when you're trying to create your new project, whatever it may be. If it's a photo you're trying to do something different with, if it's music, or you know, coming to somebody to create a music video. Stop overthinking. Just write everything
Being a
down.
perfectionist.
Yeah, sometimes being a perfectionist is cool. Like, you know, and that's how sometimes you get your sound, but you just have to just do it, like she's saying.
and I think that's when you get writer's block.
That is when you
You
get
like
writer's
when you
block.
like, oh, I gotta get this done. What? And then you like, what am I gonna write?
Because
Yeah.
it
And
then you, like,
becomes a
thinking, like-
chore.
Yeah. It's almost like a day job, you know. Some people, they're not doing the job they actually want to do. So that's when you stop the fun aspect of what, or the love of what, or the passion of what, why you even got into it, you know. And then you're just like, yo, I gotta go clock in now. Now I gotta go write 3 songs or do this by this deadline. It's not fun at that point. It's kind of like tedious, and then you're just like, oh man, I don't feel like doing this. Or it's gonna come out, you know, not as captivating or amazing to your audience, or even to you as an artist, you know.
Awesome.
I think I'd say just figure it out. I have a lot of artists that ask me the most simplest questions, like how to get a song on Spotify, how to do Facebook ads, Instagram ads. It gets difficult, but there's very simple techniques to do it out there, and it's mainly just them not Googling it. They they get they don't Google it. Just Google it. Like if I don't know, I didn't know how to make videos ever in 2015. I was like, all right, we need videos. We don't have the money. We're broke. So I just downloaded Final Cut Pro and started editing myself and figured out how to. All right, if you do this and do that, it took me 6 hours to do a video. Now 30
even
minutes.
Before that, you was shooting with the iPhone.
Yeah, shooting with an iPhone.
Putting the mic on my shirt.
Yeah.
With the iPhone, we're running around trying to figure stuff out.
You don't need a 4K camera.
Stop repeating yourself, you know. So.
Yeah, they think they need all this lavish stuff, but they just need to figure it out, make it happen.
And be you. That's the most important part. I think so many people are trying to be somebody else, and then you always can see through that, man. It's transparent. So just if you can't afford it, if you can't rock Raf Simons, don't do it. Just rock your Vans, rock whatever. Rock whatever you need. Skechers. I love Skechers. I'm on the stage with Skechers. Just do it, you know what I'm saying, and have fun doing it. I think that's the most important thing.
Phenomenal, wonderful advice, and just great insight and a wealth of knowledge right at this table. I want to thank you all for being phenomenal panelists.
Thank you.
And speaking of phenomenal, Benny Renee is about to do a track. So
Hey.
don't go
Okay.
anywhere.
What's up?
All right, thank you.